Boyle Abbey, Irish, Mainistir na Búille, was the first successful foundation in Connacht of the Cistercian order, which had opened its first Irish house at Mellifont, County Louth, in 1142. History. In the 12th century, Malachi of Armagh, later Street, Malachi, became aware of two new monastic orders in France, the Cistercians and the Canons Regular of St. Augustine, and he decided to introduce both orders to Ireland in an effort to reform the old Irish Church, which, both morally and organisationally, had fallen out of line with much of the rest of Christian Europe. The first Cistercian abbey was founded at Mellifont, Louth. St. Malachi made arrangements that young aspirant Irishmen who want to become Cistercians should be trained in St. Bernard's own monastery of Clairvaux, one of its daughter houses. The Cistercians wanted to found an abbey in Moylurg as a daughter house of Mellifont, and they did try to find a suitable place. They tried Grillagdenick and Drumcunny. By 1148, the Celtic monastery of Abdar-Larag had either very few monks or none at all. Sir Taoiseach MacGreevy, a local chieftain, negotiated and gave the Celtic monastery of Abdar-Larag in pure, free and perpetual alms, no strings attached, to the Cistercians. Documentary evidence shows that the MacGreevys were still in this district 100 years later. Ca. 1258, the Cistercians were welcomed and given land grants of about 50,000 acres, 200 square kilometers, scattered west of the River Shannon in 27 out farms called granges. The Cistercians respected their Celtic monastic buildings. They did not demolish them, but joined their own buildings onto the original ones at Abdar-Larag. This took time, and the Cistercian buildings were not completed until ca. 1218, when the abbey was consecrated and called the Abbey of Boyle. Boyle Abbey. The transition may be seen in the architecture, the two styles of buildings etc., and the stump of the round tower. Their initial success was phenomenal, as Mellifont sent out its monks to found one daughter house after another within a decade of its foundation. For some as yet unexplained reason, the Cistercians found it difficult to find a permanent home for themselves in Connacht, making 3 false starts before they finally settled at Boyle in 1161 beside a small river that flows into Loch Key. Their original patrons were the MacGreevys, lords of Moylurg, and later, after a power struggle, the MacDermott. But, perhaps because money was short, building progress was slow, and the church must have taken about 60 years to complete, going from east to west until the final portion was completed around 1220. The monastery was laid out according to the usual Cistercian plan, a church on the north side of a roughly rectangular cloister area, with a chapter house for meetings of the monks on a second side, a kitchen and a refectory on the third, and probably storehouses and dormitory above on the fourth. But only small parts of the cloister survive, because it was turned into a barracks by the Elizabethans in 1592, and the Cromwellians who besieged it in 1645. This, along with possible later stone quarrying, ensured that little survives. Despite this, the ruins are impressive, dominated by a squat square tower that was added above the crossing sometime in the 13th century. The church adheres to the Cistercian canon in having a nave with side aisles, a transept to the north and south of the crossing, each with a pair of chapels in the east wall, and a chancel, whose original windows were replaced in the 13th century. The design was influenced by styles from Burgundy, from whence the Cistercians came to Ireland, but much of the detailing of the nave, and particularly the cylindrical piers of the south arcade, has strong echoes of the west of England. The decorated corbels and capitals belonging to them were probably carved by local masons, some of them members of the so-called School of the West. creating some of the most inventive architectural sculpture of the early 13th century in the west of Ireland. Today, the abbey is now a national monument in state care and admission is currently free while restoration work is being carried out. It is located in Boyle, County Roscommon. Boyle Abbey at Ireland West. See also List of abbeys and priories in Ireland. County Roscommon. Boyle Abbey, official site at Heritage Island.